Watch Jefferson climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Come
on! What is going on, everyone? It's AP over here at Run Pure Sports, bringing to you once again. We got the Round 4 Showdown show. I'm here with the GOAT, Snyder. Snyder, all week, you're saying Hobbit season. That's what it is. When you look at this leaderboard, our guy, Brian Harman, a commanding lead up top, just like you wrote it up. And for me, personally, it's a little hurtful. My Harman builds, they're all five. Like, I have a high amount of 6-6, and I know in our community a lot of people do. I don't have any Brian Harman on my 6-6 team. So very, very hurtful. But Snyder, how is it going for you so far with the Open Championship?
Yeah, I'm doing well this week. I've got a lot of Harman on both DK and FD. I did lock Harman on FanDuel, but I also locked him with Scotty the Kid. And so that's dragging down a lot of those teams, which is very hurtful. Hopefully Scotty can have one of those John Rahm type rounds tomorrow and kind of jump back into somewhere, at least into the top 50 or something. That'd be all right. It's a heck of a way for him to end that 9-month stretch where he's been top 12 and 4-month stretch where he's been top 5. But rough scene for him with the flat stick like usual. Maybe he'll start putting left-handed or something for the playoffs or something. You never know. Yeah, just excited to jump into this. We got some big names up there chasing LG Senior up there. We got Hovland, Rahm, Cam Young's arose from the dead. And then Tommy Ladd is back-to-back even par rounds in the last 2 rounds. Left him kind of out in the cold, 7 back now.
Yeah, so, I mean, it is really interesting. I was, like, predicting the weather out here. It's just, and it always is. It's always incredibly difficult. But when Rahm was out there, they on the back 9, they had the winds behind them, and then it changed, and the back 9 ended up playing a lot more difficult when those winds changed, and that's, you can't really predict that. I mean, I've been watching windy.com, wind finder, every single day and multiple times throughout the day, and it's like these things have changed. So you can get kind of a general idea of what it's going to look like, but if you're sitting there trying to predict exactly what the winds are going to do, I mean, you're out of your mind. Like, round 4 has always been the most intriguing, and I've had my eye on it. It's changed like pretty significantly multiple times throughout the week as we've gotten closer. There was one day where we were predicting like insane gusts for probably the guys closing, and then yesterday when I checked it, just looking at my notes, the winds looked really mild. And now today, when I'm looking at it right now, it looks like, again, like a steady 10 miles an hour around 1 p.m. Local time there. Obviously, we could have a little bit more gusts, but then it could die down a little bit. And then, in the evening, like later at night, they're expecting a little bit more gusts. So I assume it's going to be similar to conditions to what we've seen. And I'm not going to sit here and try to say, oh, the early guys have the best advantage, the later guys have, a better advantage. I mean, what are you seeing, though? Do you kind of agree with that? Because right now it looks to be pretty mixed for me.
Yeah, I literally just refreshed my wind finder deal. I had it pulled up from earlier this morning, and it's completely flipped from what I seen about 6 hours ago. Now I'm seeing 20 to 25 mile an hour gusts from 7 a.m. to 12 noon, and then the wind that looks like it kind of dies down, and there's a chance for some possible showers at around 3 to 4 p.m. now. So it's up in the air. I mean, it'll probably change again before lock comes. Like you said, yeah, the winds. I was listening on the radio. I really like listening to the Open on the radio just because those guys talk about the game, and they have so many of those different terms they use overseas. Really like listening to how they describe the game and such. So been mainly doing a lot of radio coverage the first 3 days for this event. And they talked about, Yeah, those early guys had the wins right at their back coming down the backstretch on those par fives, and then the wins pretty much just completely flipped as the leaders were kind of going out. So that was interesting. But yeah, I think it's up in the air. It's hard to tell with these wins overseas. You just never know.
Yeah, so I mean, you bring up a good point, and one guy I was watching closely because I got him on a few main slate builds. Is our guy right here, and again, Eagles number 15. That eagle wasn't there for like the late guys when those wins switched, even for the biggest hitters. I mean, Rory. I mean, if you just look at this, I don't think Rory had any chance, and he's as long as anyone out there, and so. That's just something that I don't really think we can predict. You just got to kind of roll with it. But I mean, it is interesting how it changes the course. And so heading into round 4, I mean, it's up here. Does Brian Harman, have the mental fortitude to get through this? Seems like he does. I mean, he had a shaky start today, and then he got it together. And we're going to talk about that soon. If you haven't yet, hit the like button, hit the subscribe. It helps us out a lot over here at Run Pier Sports. We have a ton of stuff coming, especially, we're only a month and a half or two, probably a month and a half from NFL. We have college sports coming soon. I mean, times are going to be really good here soon. I can't wait, but we do got to finish out strong. And it starts tomorrow, day 4. So if you're new to round 4, it's a little bit different in showdown scoring. You got finishing. You got the finishing position, which is an added bonus. First place is 13 points, which is like the equivalent to 2 birdies and a par, something like that. So I mean, it's significant. And Snyder, we just went live. We're kind of going back and forth about it before we went live, and it's. Can you fade Harman? I think I'm in the camp. All right, so here's the difference. I don't have him on any good main slate teams. I'm on the stance that he's a tough fade, and I'll explain why. And I think you're on the stance where in tournaments, I'm playing tournaments too, but you were leaning towards fading him. So let's just dive in. Let's talk about the top. Let's go the top 3 guys. Jon Rahm, Cam Young, Brian Harman. I mean, it does seem like if Brian Harman slips and lets it go, I don't know. I mean, I think maybe the -5 and up. Yeah, let's go T4 and up. Maybe they have a chance, but talk to me through this range and specifically talk about what you're doing with Brian Harman.
Yeah, for me, I was just kind of rolling through to see. I'm gonna try and I just pulled up today's scoring to see what Harman shot today. So today he shot 2 under today, made 4 birdies, 2 bogeys, and scores 37 points. But he was also 7,500 today compared to tomorrow. They bumped him up to at least 8,500 tomorrow. It's kind of a 1v1 for me with my main tournament team, the shell I've already got kind of constructed. It's going to be either Harman or Cameron Young. And I think for cash games, Brian Harman's definitely the guy there. LG even battled some adversity early today. He started out with a couple bogeys, and I seen the shot lead went down to 2 or 3 strokes there for a while, but he showed heart and he battled back strong. Even though he didn't make birdie on any of the par 5s on the back 9, he still showed a lot of heart there. The short game picked back up on the back 9 and made a couple putts there, including a really good up and down on 18 to salvage par there after he got out of line off the tee there. So I really like Brian Harman to close this out. I think he's -200 to win this event, so I think he's definitely going to be there, and he'll get those bonus points for winning as well.
-200 is not enough. I don't think that's enough at all. Like if you're sold the likes to like parlay, and I don't know if you can do this. You can probably do this on some books, but you like those money line parlays. Find another one in that range that you like, that you think's like underpriced or like a lock, and load up. Because I think Brian Harman. I mean, I like -350. He's got like I think it's a much better chance than -200.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree with you right there. And then you get down to Jon Rahm, who had the best. I was looking through his rounds for the last year or so, trying to find out when the last time he had a good enough putting day as he did today. He gained nearly 4 strokes putting today. The last time he gained this much strokes putting was like back in October last year. So he was great with the putter. I mean, he's going to be going out later tomorrow, so you never know with the winds if he's going to be in those same situations. And I think he's going to be a very popular option tomorrow at only 10-4. When you look at like Rory's 11-2 and Scotty, no one's going to play Scotty, but Scotty is priced all the way up again. But I think Rahm's going to be a very, very popular guy. I think a lot of people are just going to start out with Harman, Young, and Rahm tomorrow in tournaments and stuff. You can even fit in Hovland, I think, pretty easily with the value that's on this slate. So I'll probably be off of Rahm tomorrow after the strong short game performance today. I do like Hovland. How far are we going to go to start?
Just the -4s or just T4 and up. So the -5s.
Yeah, for sure. I like Hovland tomorrow. He plays well on Sundays. He is a guy with good birdie upside. I think he's another guy. I mean, you look back at the last, I think, 8 majors, Hovland's got the second best scoring average next to Scotty Scheffler. So definitely like Hovland tomorrow. Jason Day is a guy I'll probably be off tomorrow. He was really bad with the ball striking today. Almost lost a stroke off the tee. Almost lost a stroke with the irons there. Played the back nine at +1 after a good start. He gained almost 4 strokes with the short game on the front nine, and then everything kind of went away from him on the back nine. Be off of him. Sepp Straka has still got a good price, 7,600. He's a fine option. He's played really well the last 2 days after the double bogey he had on 15, and then chips in for birdie on 18 to get back to even for that round, and then follows it up yesterday with that 4-under round. I think he's a good birdie upside guy for the price tag there. Tommy Ladd, he was -2 strokes putting today. I think he's a good bounce back contender tomorrow. I think he's going to play much better now that there's not much pressure on him. I mean, there was quite a bit of pressure on him after coming out with that first round lead, and then he was going off in the last group today as well. So the pressure should be relatively off of him tomorrow. He's got 7 back, so I think he can kind of go out there and swing freely tomorrow. So I do like some Fleetwood tomorrow to bounce back at 9,800. I think he's going to be a little lower owned, definitely lower owned than Rahm up top, and then Young and Harman.
Yeah. So, I mean, the first thing that I really got into was, what do we do with Brian Harman tomorrow? I'm usually a huge proponent of just fading these guys up top because they're too high owned. But rarely do we ever get a guy who has a 5-shot lead. You just don't see that, especially in the majors recently. And Harman just doesn't make a lot of bogeys. So, like, let's pull up his round. Let's look at this. He had 2 today, which I think was the most he's had all week. So no bogeys in round 2. I mean, what an awesome round there. And just 1 in round 1. So, yeah, the pressure is going to be on a little bit. I will say one thing about him, I was impressed. So he played 18 very conservatively, as he should, with the 5-shot lead. Number 16, though, he ripped a drive that was really impressive right into the wind. Tough tee shot on this hole here. Ripped driver, made a nice par. I think he had a look at birdie even on that hole. Would have been tough. So even though he had the lead there, what that tells me, he's feeling confident. Very confident about his game. And then what a lot of these players are doing on 18, especially someone in Brian Harman's spot, bail out left, take right completely out of play. A lot of the players that have been doing that, sometimes you get a good lie. Today, Harman got the worst possible lie off the tee that you could have in that area, that bailout area. And he still managed to get up and make an easy par. So really impressive out of him. What I'm getting at is, for me, it becomes a math problem. And I'm almost siding on the part that he's probably close to a lock for me. Let's just think about it. Let's just say he shoots even par tomorrow. Let's just say it's 3 bogeys, 3 birdies, 12 pars. If you add in the finishing points, that's 42.85 points. If you're getting 42.85 points from him tomorrow at 8.5K, and that was guaranteed to you, Snyder, I mean, you're locking him in all day, right?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good deal there. I'm just looking at the points today. what people shot today.
I mean, I'm looking at Sabres projections, and they do it based off of round 4 finishing points. I mean, that's significantly higher than any other player is currently projected. So
there's 13 guys that scored more than that today, but I mean, it's up in the air with I don't think he'll be optimal though if he scores that.
Now let's just say, so that gives him a really nice base, and I would be I would just lock him in if I could lock in those points. Let's go the other way. Let's just say he has no bogeys like he's been doing all week, except for today. 15 pars, 3 birdies, and just continues to keep mowing. You get the bogey-free round. You get the first place finishing points, which is 13, which is the equivalent to what? The 2 birdies and a par is the finishing points. And why I'm saying that that's so significant tomorrow is we rarely have a guy with a 5-shot lead that plays like him, that just doesn't give much back. We saw it today. He started to waver, and then he got back to what he's normally doing. So then he's putting up that. So if he does that type of round, it's 57.75 points. I mean, there he's optimal.
He's definitely optimal there.
The other round is like, what if he just goes out and sucks? Like we've seen the best in the world do it. 16 pars, maybe 2 bogeys. He's playing defensive. He can't get anything going, and he's just trying to hang on. And let's just say someone comes from behind and takes it from him, but he's still probably close to a lock to get second place for 10 points. In that type of scenario, so no birdies on the card, still 30.4 points, which probably outscores quite a bit of the field, tomorrow, depending on what happens. I don't know. I'm under the camp where I'm most likely right now, I'm just considering locking him. Just because it just seems like he almost just seems like a free square. Now I say that now, and he's going to be the highest owned player. He just has to be. But for me, it really does seem like a lock. Cam Young also becomes kind of the interesting discussion point. I do think in cash, you lock both of those guys, 8.5K, 8.4K. And then the question becomes, what do you do with Rom? Do you just play Rom? And then it's the other thing too, if you're going heavy or you're playing cash heavy, I would keep an eye on the weather, because the weather, knowing which direction those winds are going to be going and where your advantage is, or having a somewhat of an idea, is going to help you. I still think that's tough to predict, but man, for me, Brian Harman in tournaments, he's the one I would lock, and Cam Young would be the one that I'm under or potentially fade. That's kind of where I'm at right now. You got to love how Jon Rahm played today. I mean, if we just look at his rounds, I mean, this card is just insane. Keep in mind, he had the wind behind him. He hit the weather just perfectly today. On this back 9, he had the wind behind him, destroyed the par 5s. These guys did not. So that's the difference there. If
really
you just go
hit that many great iron shots. So when you look at it, he only had one shot over a half a stroke gain on an approach shot. But it was just basically the putter. He gained over 0.4 strokes putting on like 6 holes. So
yeah. You can see it here. Let me pull it up so you can look at the putting right here. And I mean, yeah, you're right. He just gained. He gained especially on the back 9 too. But it was that driver. He was strong off the tee, put himself in nice positions. So I don't know. I think Hovland would be kind of the interesting fade up here. Jason Day, he's just been lights out too, putting, and I'm very surprised by Jason Day being up here and Cam Young. And it's like they're fades for me to start the week. Shout out to our boy Bobby Hare. He was all over Jason Day. I couldn't do it. It's the Open Championship though. Crazy things happen. They're most likely the fades for me. I like Hovland, and I like going right back to my boy Sepp Straka. Struggled a little bit today, but man, we're starting to see this guy in this position now more frequently than not. I think he handles the pressure fine. And a lot of these guys, it's like they can go out and swing free. I mean, obviously you want to finish high, you want to snag a top 10, so there will be some pressure. But to steal from Harman is going to be very difficult tomorrow. So what I'm doing, I want to lock Harman. I'm not full fading Cam Young, but I'm definitely going to be under on him. I'm going to be under on John Rahm. I think like if I'm going Harman, I'd rather get leverage maybe with Scotty Scheffler or something like that. We'll talk about the studs later on.
I think we're going to set a rule, though, with those top 3 guys. Don't you max 2 or something?
Yeah, you could do that. Sometimes I get myself in trouble setting too many rules, so I like to err on the side of not setting them if I can. But yeah, I think Hovland's fine. Jason Day, Cam Young, probably my fades are under, and then I like my boy Sepp Straka. That's where I'm at up top. I think Roser's okay, but I think we can get better value elsewhere down the board here. Let's keep it going. Let's go all the way to the minus twos, the two unders. So Alex Fitzpatrick, T9 with Sharma there, all the way down to Min Woo Lee. What are you doing with this range?
There's a few guys I like in this range. We saw Rory start out really good today, and then what Rory has been doing over the last couple of months, he gets on that back nine and tenses up. Shot one over on the back nine. Really hurtful. I mean, the putter just left him on the back nine. He really didn't make that many putts outside of hole 1, but he's fine if you want to go there. I think he's a guy that can be a chaser. I think I put a tweet out there early on Thursday when he was tilting people saying, don't worry, he's going to backdoor top 5 on Sunday. I fully expect that top 5 to come in for Rory on Sunday. So he's a good option there. At 11-2, it's kind of tough to fit him in those pricings, though, with all the value we got. We saw pretty much everybody get reduced in pricing today, like Hovland, like all these guys. Hovland got reduced $800 from round 3 to round 2. We saw a lot of the -1 guys got a big reduction in price. So I'm going to be leaning more towards like the even builds tomorrow. So I don't think I'll get much Rory tomorrow. He's a good bounce back spot, though. I like Alex Fitzpatrick as a punt again tomorrow. I mean, he is another guy that was 6,100 today, and they dropped him down to the Stone Min 6K tomorrow. So definitely like Fitzpatrick. He's playing well. He's played well the last couple of days. Yeah, he started.
I mean, look at that card. Look at that round 3 card right there. A ton of birdies. I mean, I can't recall. Did he have the favorable wind, or
he was out about midday? So he had it for.
Yeah, he would add that too.
Yeah, he struggled round 1, but the last 2 rounds he's definitely played better. He shot 74, 70, 65. So he's definitely been playing better. I like him as a Stone Min guy to help jam in some of the other guys. If you want to play some studs like a Rahm, if you want to play like a Rahm Hovland or a Rahm Rory lineup or something, Fitzpatrick definitely helps that build out. Sharma's an all right guy if you want to go there. I don't think I'll go there. 6,900 is a little too steep for me for him. D-Tree's a fine option. He's at 7K flat. He had a really strong putting day, though, so I think it'll be tough for him to duplicate that. I mean, he putted just lights out on, there's 6 holes. Yeah, 6 holes where he gained over a half a stroke putting, so definitely don't think he'll be making those long putts tomorrow. So the more I look at it, he'll probably be a fade for me. Tommy Kim's played better since round 1. Round 1, he shot 3 over. The next 2 days, he shot 68 both days, so I think he's right there in full consideration. He's got a good price tag, too, only 8K flat for him. I think he's fine. And Nikolai Hogard is 7,400. He's played well the last 2 days. Day 1, he shot even. He's broke par the last 2 days, so I think he's fine. Matthew Jordan's a local guy there. He ended his round really strong today. He made 4 birdies in his last 5 holes, so I like Matthew Jordan to bounce or to carry that over. Even did that without putting that well. For the first, 13 holes, he was 2 over and then ends on fire there. So I like him to carry that good mojo over. Grillo's another target down there at 3 under. He bounced back today a little bit from what he did round 2. He shot 3 over round 2, but he still made 4 birdies today, so he's good for a scoring option. Max Homa is a guy I think is a solid option. Where's his price tag? Right, 8.2K. That's a great price tag for his scoring upside. And he did it good on the back 9. He started out a little slow today, shot 1 over on the front 9, but did well in the back nine. I think he's fine. You got Spieth there, Spieth's always a good upside tournament play for Showdown. I always have him in there. He's kind of like a Keegan Bradley type guy who can just nuke out of nowhere, depending on if the short game's on for him. The putting wasn't today, but he's usually a wizard around the greens and stuff, and he gained over a stroke around the greens today as well. I'll probably be off of Minwoo. He hasn't played the best on the weekends as of late, and today he showed that with a 1-over round, so I'll probably be off of him. I have enough of him on the main slate, so if he does well.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm with you on Rory. Obviously, I was really high on Rory. A lot of people were. We just haven't seen the birdies, and he should have started out with 5 birdies today. I was watching that, as many of us were. I mean, huge miss opportunity here on 2, makeable putt. Same thing on 4. Then, obviously the par 5. He just, what's lacking when I see this round, like his 3 rounds so far? The birdies. I think 8 or 9 total birdies is what he's made. I mean, Rory is due for like a John Rahm type round. That's what we see on Sundays all the time. So when we're talking studs and who to pay up for, I got to go back to Rory, man. I'm going to take Rory over Rahm, and I'm going to take him over like Scotty Scheffler too, that we'll talk about at the bottom. I'm not saying fade Scheffler, but because he should be pretty low owned. Rory may be the popular option here. You got to think these guys get some ownership, but I think we're due for a Rory type of nuke. So that's what I'm hoping for. Maybe he makes things interesting. He needs a strong start, and he needs the putter to get going too. He keeps burning these edges. So I like him. Alex Fitzpatrick, I mean, it's so hard to back up a round like that, especially in your country's major. I have a tough time playing him, but I kind of get the play there.
He doesn't need to do much, though, for that price tag. $6K flat. If he gets you like 30, I mean, that'll open you up to like a Rory and a Rahm combo if they both like nuke and go for 55 or so.
Yeah, no, I mean that makes plenty of sense. I mean, Griot, I was pretty high on him. I like the ball strikers to begin with, to start the week. Actually, it was him and Tom Kim. I didn't get the mix and match in the right builds, but there were guys I liked. And we saw him have an awesome round 1, kind of faltered the last 2 days. I could see him having a bounce back type of day. Hogard, I really like him as well. Struggled on the back 9. But again, a lot of positives there. He and plenty of motivation too for a guy like him. Top 10 at the Open Championship. I mean, a lot to play for him. Also getting those finishing points too that are going to be very valuable. So he's going to be a guy that I have a ton of interest in as well. I think the guys that had awesome rounds, I'm going to be like the Dietrich. I'm going to be a little bit more nervous on some of those guys. So for me, I want to try to get Rory if I can. I think he nukes. I think he has one of those days. I like the Max Homa call that you had. Max Homa actually, for me, kind of profiled pretty well coming into this. He should be plenty motivated too, because what's lacking from his resume, it's results in majors. And he now has the opportunity he doesn't have to go up very far potentially to book a top 10. So he has plenty of majors. He needs to book some, top 10 or better in a major to really boost that resume. So he has plenty of motivation there for me. So I have a ton of interest in him. And then, Jordan Spieth, I think he's interesting, due for a bounce back. Same with Minwoo Lee. These guys that had a rougher day today, I really like them to bounce back. It's just, we always see this zigzag happens all the time. And what does ownership do? Ownership typically follows the guys that did well. And so I want to go opposite of that. That's what I'm going to be doing. And I think we're kind of arm in arm with some of these guys down here, the Max Homa, Spieth, Minwoo Lee, et cetera. And then for me, it's how do we get over on Rory? That's what I'm going to be doing. And after this, when I dial in and crunch my numbers, we'll see if it's even possible, because I don't want to force him in because we've seen low scores from every type of golfer. Sharma, Snyder, are you familiar with this game? I'm not that familiar with this game. The guy's been playing extremely well. Any type of golfer can do well here. So that's why I love the idea of locking in Harman. That's one square that's just taken care of. Now I can find other areas or other places to get different and find some true leverage. That's what I want to do going into tomorrow. Let's go down to this next range. We got Flower down here. I mean, if Ricky Fowler doesn't make that mistake on in round one, I mean, it could be a different conversation that we're having, but it happened. Here we are. He's quite a ways back, but he was happy with his round today. Looked to be very pleased. Let's go all the way down to the evens. Brendan Todd.
Yeah, you could also say the same thing with Tyrrell Hatton there. He had a couple foul balls in 18 to end his second round. He fires a strong round back today. I really like him tomorrow. He gets a good price savings tomorrow. I think his price dropped $400 from today. He lost over a stroke putting today too, so he really left a lot out there on the par fives today on the back nine. I think he's the guy that can go out and shoot 3 to 5 under again tomorrow. Be right back up there. If he wouldn't have hit those 2 foul balls, he'd be sitting T4 right now. He just pars that hole, but I think he's a great play. I really like a lot of these guys at the -1 range. You look at Cantlay and Schauffele, both of those guys got huge price decreases today. Cantlay and Schauffele were both 9,700 and 9,800 respectively, and today tomorrow their price tag, they get cut down $1,000 each, down to 8,800 and 8,700. I think those two hold that 5 to 8 under potential upside round. Those two are good friends. I mean, it's a great pairing for those two. They play in that team event together, so I really like the mojo they're going to have tomorrow. They both played well today too, 3 under and 4 under, so I think they carry that over to tomorrow. Only one of them made a bogey today. Xander made one bogey today. He left some out there on the back nine too. He made a really bad putt on 14. I think he 3-putted 14 to be honest with you, but he left out there on the back nine with those 2 par fives. He never made a single birdie on any par 5 today. Xander didn't, as did Cantlay. Cantlay left all 3 par 5s out there as well. So I really like those two. They're going to be building blocks for me and most of my teams with them under 9K. I put a tweet out about them just a while back before we started the show. Stenson's another cheapie down here I like. He lost 2 strokes putting today, but the irons were on point for him. I think he's a great value play. 3 birdies, 3 bogeys today, so I really like him at -1. My guy Alexander Bjork is a guy I'll be back on tomorrow for a value. I like his price tag at 7,400. He's been playing well on the weekends too, on that Euro Tour and last week as well. So I like him. Not seeing too much out of the 2 guys at even par for me tomorrow, but I really like some of these guys at the -1 range. You look like Cameron Smith's another guy that can go out there and nuke tomorrow. He lost a stroke putting today, but made 5 birdies, left some out there on the par 5s as well. Only made 1 birdie on the 3 par 5s. So he's another guy. His pricing only dropped like $200 though. So he's not as good of a value as like the Hatton, the Cantlay, and the Xanders, I think.
I mean, DraftKings, what are we doing? Like, these prices are insane. Like you just said, Snyder. I mean, if you want to know what potentially like cash guys might do, you got Harman, you got Cam Young up there. I mean, you don't really even have to spend up. I'm sure the cash route will be to like jam in at least 1 or 2 more leaderboard guys, but you also have underpriced Xander and underpriced Cantlay. They're 87, 8,800, like you mentioned, that for sure should get some ownership, you would think. Even Wyndham Clark, 9K, a very fair price tag as well. Man, kind of insane. So like Corey Connors, obviously I went back to him, bench play this week. He was my favorite play coming in. This guy was just a mistake away from being 3 under today. I mean, he had a perfect drive in the fairway on 18, makes a mistake on his second shot, hits it right, goes OB, has to re-tee. On his next shot, it was fine, but it went into one of the pot bunkers. He still got up and in from there, which was really impressive to save bogey when I thought he was going to be looking at double. But really, I mean, man, he could be sitting at -3 and be looking a lot better. But I like how he played today. He has a lot of positives going into round 4. I think he builds on that. I think he's going to have another nice day tomorrow. I like Tyrell Hatton too. I think we're kind of locked arm in arm on this range. There are a lot of really good plays. Ricky, I think Ricky's fine. He's got a lot to build on. Cantlay, like you said. Xander Schauffele, I think he's good. I mean, you could even like get a bunch of plays from this range, pair it with one of like a Brian Harman or a Cam Young or whoever you think's going to win, probably Brian Harman. But then load up on this kind of chaser range and hope these guys post a score that rivals these guys at 3, 4, and 5 under, and maybe they steal some of those placement points too. Not going to be as big of a factor, but every single point that you can grab or steal, obviously matters. Henrik Stenson, I think that's an interesting call here as well. What do you have? 3 birdies on the card. He had a clean round in round 2, struggled a bit in round 1. You got some zigzag there. I always like the zigzag. Struggled, good round, average day here, but he finished strong. He's got some positive momentum going into round 4. His price tag, do you know what his price tag is tomorrow?
Yeah, just a second.
On Stenson, 6.7K.
Yeah,
I believe. Yeah, that's a fair price tag. Like you could play him or Sink, one of those old guys. I mean, again, like we said, anyone can score here. You know where the chalk's going to be. I like sneaking in a few of these leverage plays. I think my favorite, though, in this range, it'd be boring going back to Corey Connors, but he is going to be one of my favorites. I like this pairing with you, and I like the idea of playing both of them, just kind of building on each other. They're good buddies, best friends. That's Cantlay and Schauffele. I love the idea of playing them together and just hoping that they thrive and both play good and both finish, maybe 3 to 4 under, maybe 5 under. That's definitely in the realm of a range of outcomes with those guys. So I like kind of stacking that pairing right there. Let's keep it going. Let's go down to this next range. Let's basically talk about everyone else left. So that's the plus ones all the way down. Actually, the evens all the way down.
Yeah, I think Ryan Fox is another guy I'll look at too tomorrow. He's battled back strong since I wrote him off for dead after he cards at 43 on the back 9 on Thursday. Battled back strong the last 2 rounds, making birdies. So I think he's fine if you want to go there. Jordan Smith was the guy who played in cash. I mean, he's been all right. I mean, he's about where I thought he was going to be. Thought he may get a few more birdies, but he was 3-3 today. Left some out there definitely today on the par 5s. I think he's fine if you want to go there. Not sure if I will get there or not. The Answer's another guy. It's fine value play. Norn's a fine value play if you want to go there. Then you get down to like Louis Oosthuizen, who really rakes out well as a stats play tomorrow. He lost 3 strokes today with the short game, gained 2 strokes with the approach, was fine off the tee. Just had a really bad hole there on hole 14 where he made triple there. He still made good birdies today, though. He made 6 birdies today, so he's showing you at least some scoring upside there. So I think he's fine if you want to go to a guy at +2. Matthew Southgate could be a guy to bounce back tomorrow. He played well the first 2 days. Made eagle on 18 to end the second round, but today he was just absolutely horrible out there today. Really bad with the short game. Made 4 bogeys, only 1 birdie. I think he's a guy that could bounce back. But once you get down even further, I really don't like to play these guys that just aren't playing well going into the final round. I pretty much just cut the majority of these guys. Brooks is going to punt. I knew Brooks was going to punt once he was out of contention. After he punted the last few holes on that back 9, he shot 5 over. After he was in decent consideration, he was top 15 there for a while, and then shoots 41 down the stretch on Friday. And I knew he was just going to come out and punt today, and we saw that early. He made a double on 9. He made a couple other bogeys. He did make a couple birdies coming in, though, on 17 and 18. He hit a really good putt on 17, which maybe gave him a little spark on 18 to go for it there for the birdie. I probably won't play him, though. I'm not going to play Scotty. Scotty just can't putt. Maybe if he putts left-handed tomorrow, I might roster him, but I'm not going to pay that price tag on him. I think paying that price tag on Scotty at 11.8 tomorrow I mean, you need him.
Snyder, real quick.
Eric,
Eric A., I mean, like, what rain are you talking about? I mean, they're supposed to actually get rain today, and I didn't see any. Like,
no.
It's supposed to rain overnight there, but like nothing like that significant enough to soften up the course. But we're projected to get winds potentially in the morning too, and then it could die down. But Eric, what I've been saying is this weather's been tough to predict here, and it's not like it's been crazy. Like nothing's been like that crazy. We saw wind shift today that obviously, reversed the advantage there on the guys going late on the back nine, but we can't. Those things are so tough to predict. But if anything, like these guys could have some heavier winds in the morning too. Which one, we already don't like them because a lot of these guys are punting. You know, a lot of the studs, Koepka and Scotty. But I'm not seeing a lot of rain. Are you seeing any rain, Snyder?
No, I'm not seeing much rain at all. Maybe there's a slight chance at like 10 o'clock tonight over there, but I don't see anything. There's a slight chance of rain beginning like 4 or 5 p.m. tomorrow, but they're going to be pretty much done by then almost.
Yeah. Do you have any other thoughts, or you pretty much closed it out in that range?
Yeah, I'm pretty much done with. I'm not going to play any of those guys really. Not even Bobby Mack. Hopefully he can have something going on tomorrow, but yeah, there's nothing down here that I really like. I like the Scotty. If you want to play him in tournaments, that's fine, but he's going to have to make like 7 birdies for that price tag to compete with the Roms and the other guys up there. So I'm pretty much off of all these guys, I think, down there.
Yeah, it'll come down to true scoring. Ryan Fox, I mean, he's been this dude's been battling, grinding, should be plenty motivated. As a value, I think he's great. Jordan L. Smith, I like him as well. I think we're locked arm in arm. I like the values down here, at least some of them. The Louis, even like Southgate, I think is fine. Jordan L. Smith, Ryan Fox, the Kitayama, I think is okay. I don't want to like go crazy on these guys because we have underpriced guys in kind of the chasing range that we just talked about. So I'm going to be under or just fading a lot of players down here, but there are some that I have interest in. Ryan Fox, Jordan L. Smith, too. I think Louis fine, Southgate, like you said, as well. But like Koepka, even though he's not playing with Cantlay anymore, it's crazy that Cantlay got the best of him. Kind of not surprised just because, actually the broadcast said Cantlay was like noticeably trying to play faster, which I thought was interesting. I mean, what a nice guy to help out BK there. It didn't help. And then Scott, I mean, we've seen what this course is. It's such an interesting course where any of these guys can get it done here. But I just feel like Scotty, BK, they're probably ready to go home. I feel like it's let's get this round done as quickly as possible and move out. Again, they should be lower owned, especially BK and Scotty for sure. But that putter, I mean, we got to make putts. Could Scotty go low? Yeah, he definitely could. But the putter just looks so bad right now. I can't do it. Bobby Mack, I mean, man, he's been kind of hurtful. But again, I think he, from just a pride standpoint, goes out there, wants to post a good round. So I'll sprinkle him in. But again, the only thing that would change my mind in this range, these guys that are going out early, is if the forecast changes. If for some reason, I'm going to check it tonight before I post my core on the site. If I check it tonight and the forecast has changed, and let's just say the early guys have an advantage, then yeah, I'm going to have interest in some of these early guys. It's still going to be very difficult to get me off Brian Harman since he has such a commanding lead. I want to lock those placement points in and kind of move on. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. I mean, I find myself being, as it stands right now, under on a lot of these guys. Way down here, dumpster diving. Obviously, DK's pricing isn't up here. I really like this chasing range that we talked about. I really love the pairing of Cantlay and Xander right there. And this is going to be the range that I load up on. These guys, Max Homa, Ricky, Cantlay, these guys, Minwoo Lee, bounce back. Really like him. Corey Connors. Yeah, I like Payne, so I'm going back to him. And then it's mixing and matching with trying to get Rory if we can. And then Brian Harman, up top for sure. How about we do this? Let's build a core and then let's get out of here. Let's each do 2. I'll let you start with your first one. We'll go back and forth. Does that work?
Yeah, sounds good. Just give me Xander Schauffele, then we'll just put one of the guys I like up there.
Let me put this in while we're doing it. So you're going Xander. I gotta go Brian Harman since I'm locking him. And I know you're going to be rooting for him too. And Hobbit season is going to be all over. LG Hobbit season, all that. It's going to be constantly spammed in chat. Who's next? We got 8.2 left.
Yeah, I'm going to find a value here. I could go with the other guy I really like in that mid-range, but let's go for Patrick Reed at 7,300. He's gonna battle tomorrow. He got a good. That. I think his price went down like $400 or $500 as well tomorrow. It's 7.3K. He's a guy that's always gonna battle for that extra money on Sunday. We know.
I mean, he gets plenty of money over at Live, but he's a pride guy. Actually, like he is prideful when he plays, and especially when it comes to majors. So he's going to be out there battling. Yeah. And then I'm going to go Minwoo Lee to start off. I just think he's got to, he's got to be disappointed with today's round, obviously, but the guy continues to be a presence in majors. I think there's plenty to be confident about. And I think he bounces back. I think he comes in motivated. He could be one of those guys that goes 500 tomorrow. So Minwoo Lee is going to be the other guy, the last guy. So if you go Brian Harman, Minwoo Lee, Patrick Reed, Xander, it's 8.5 left per position. I mean, pricing is pretty bad tomorrow. I wish, like, if I were to do pricing, and I can't believe they haven't really picked up on this. Like Brian Harman, Cameron Young, I mean, they should be. I mean, Brian Harman should be like close to 10K. I think Cameron Young should be like 9.8 or 10K. I think Rahm should be like all the ownership's going to go up top. So DraftKings, fix the algorithm, make these leaders or projected leaders, up their price tags a little bit. I think it makes things a little bit more interesting. But at 8.5, I don't know. I'm probably locking in Harman. You got any final thoughts, Snyder?
No, I think we're good here. Just use that promo code SUMMER33 because I don't think it's going to be around much longer. We've got the Hall of Fame game starting August 3rd. So NFL is right around the corner. College football is right around the corner. It's going to be a great time here at Rumpier Sports. So join the movement.
Yeah, actually that code goes away July 31st. So coming up here soon. And yeah, we'll start to reveal everything we've been working on as well. So a lot of exciting stuff coming up over here at Rumpier Sports. I know I'm very excited about it. But if you got a sweat tomorrow, make sure you're in the Discord. Send screenshots. I would love to root you on tomorrow. I got a bunch of 6 of 6, a bunch of lineups that are looking really good. But I don't have LG in them. So like I would need an absolute collapse for him to do anything nice tomorrow. But I just don't see that happening, man. He looks too locked in. I think he closes it out and gets a win. So on that note, good luck. If you got a sweat, hit the like button, hit the subscribe. For Snyder, I'm AP. Snyder, get us out of here.